Linda, this is Ryan Sheffer, your golf instructor and lead instructor at the ranch at Laguna Beach, here with a video analysis from today's golf lesson. And what we're looking at is two of your swings from the lesson. We're going to start by looking at the swing on the left. And what I want to point out is how there's a little bit of lateral motion as you're swinging kind of back and through. And we're going to be able to see that by using these lines here. So I'm drawing a couple lines kind of along your body, and what you're going to see is that as you move back, the head kind of sways off that green line. It's moving kind of into your right leg, so that's that lateral motion as I phrased it. Now that because you've done that, you're going to have to really try to feel this lateral motion kind of move back towards the front leg. You're going to see that that starts to happen, but we don't really get all the way to that line, so you're hanging back onto your right leg, and that's causing you to swing slightly up on the ball, and you're going to end up topping it, and the ball doesn't get up in the air. At the end, though, we have a pretty nice finish. We'll take a look at how your head is basically in a straight line along your left side. So the finish is actually really good. So not always looking at positives. There's actually some good things in this as well. We just need to make that lateral motion that you're seeing here at the end, we need to make that happen a little sooner. Okay, so that's what we're trying to work on. Now let's take a look over here on the swing on the right, and we're going to watch a little bit of what's going on kind of in the takeaway. So as the club swings back here, you're going to see here by this green line that the club actually moves on a pretty good path up that green line. That's literally almost pro level. My negative, though, is that the club face is pointing down towards the ground, which is going to cause a ball to basically have a direction moving off towards the left. You're going to hit a lot of balls left when the club face looks like that. So as we get up towards the top, because that club face is shut, it now is swinging down steep, and if you were to hit the ball solidly, which unfortunately hit it off the toe here, the ball then would have gone left. So you can see the club's coming in steep. We then try to shallow it back out. It goes under the line, right? So you're trying to make some corrections essentially. You're kind of not swinging on the ideal path line. Okay. Now in the next segment of this video, we're looking now at a lady named Sue Kim. She's an aspiring LPGA Tour player, and we're going to zoom in here and take a look a little bit of what's kind of going on in the swing. I'm going to draw a couple lines just like we did on your swing, and we're going to see that she does a pretty good job of staying within her center as she's turning. So you'll see here as the club goes back, her head hasn't really moved that far off of the line there. You can tell there's a little bit of motion. That's just because she's simply rotating. It's not going to stay perfectly still. That's kind of impossible. But we're keeping it against that line. As she starts down, watch how that left knee is going to bump into the lead line there on the left leg. Her left shoulder is against the line, and now she's just simply going to unwind everything. Notice her head staying right in its position there. It hasn't really moved much. And now she's going to let it just kind of release up forward through the shot, finishing on her left side. So that's the motion we want to make. Again, you kind of to see how this is working if we kind of rewind that. Right when she's here, she's made a good full turn. All she's doing now, unwind. Left leg bumps forward, unwind everything, and try to drive into your left side. Now in this last segment of the video, what we're going to look at is a down the line or target facing view of the golf swing. And we have a model here on the left. Her name is Allison Lee. She's an LPGA Tour player. And we're going to see a little bit of what's going on in her swing in comparison to yours. The first thing we're going to look at here is how the club moves back. And you're going to see as the club reaches what I call P2, which is about hip high, you're going to notice that the club face is kind of positioned more right there, where the face of the club is pointing in that direction. If we get your club kind of in that same position at P2, we're going to see a little difference here. So as the club goes back, you're going to see that the club face stays kind of shut. So right now we're at P2 and the club is pointing down to the ground. So that's something that we've been working on. We did that during your lesson. We're trying to get that club face a little bit more neutral to the path. Now as we go back to Allison here on the left, you're going to see that the club goes kind of right through her bicep and she gets her left arm right over her right shoulder. So that's the position that we're going to try to really work on creating. You can also see that she's had a lot of rotation here in her waistline. She's kind of using her hips a little bit more rotary. So that's the feeling we want there. Now the key difference between your swing right now and what we're trying to build is this motion here. So that red line there is going to represent where her club is starting from on the transition, and what we want to see is for the club to kind of move that direction. So you're going to see here as she starts down, she's going to start just unwinding her hips. Her left knee is going to start to work around her body. Her arms just start to kind of fall with gravity, and then she just simply unwinds through the shot, and she hits a pretty solid strike there. So that's what we're trying to see, is that club going to shallow out. Now if we go over to your swing here on the right, you're going to see at the top the arms are a little bit shorter. We're going to try to work on that later, trying to get the hands a little higher. But as we start down, this is the key difference. From right here, you're going to see that your club is going to work out this direction. So it goes out towards the right, and that's causing the club then to come too steep, and it's going to have a shut face, causing the ball to usually go left when you make decent contact. So some things to work on, just kind of giving you some visuals as far as where we're headed, not necessarily trying to give you too many thoughts to try to think of when you're playing, just kind of showing what we're looking for. So how do you practice now? What would you want to be doing in your practice? The best thing I could really say would be to start with your feet together. Just hit some shots where you're hitting balls with your feet together, and I would place the ball on a tee. That way the ball is teed up. It'll be a little easier for you to make good contact, and it's going to help you build confidence. When you start seeing good results, you start to become a little bit more confident, and that relieves any tension that you have, and that's a good thing. You don't want tension in the golf swing. So spend some time practicing that. I would try to do that at least 1 to 2 times kind of between now and next Wednesday. So let me know how that goes, and I look forward to seeing you at your next lesson. We're going to probably work a little bit more on the full swing and maybe do a little bit of on-course training as well.